Misty and her friends want to celebrate the Cutie Blossom Bash in Zephyr Heights. It's an official ceremony and celebration for all of the ponies that have gotten their new Cutie marks that year. Izzy loves the Blossom Bash and she plans to craft 100 flower corsages for all the ponies. Hitch is thinking about Sparky and misses him, because ever since his run-in with Opaline he's been so tired. Izzy assures him and reminds him that he is resting with Grandma Figgy. The ponies decide to tell Misty the story of how they got their cutie marks. Sunny starts first and talks about the days when she was a little filly and didn't have many friends, so she made lemonade and sold it to raise money for the library. But two ponies wanted the last lemonade and they started arguing. She stepped in to help and that's when her cutie mark appeared. Zip then talks about her story, which started in Zephyr Heights. She was trying to figure out how Picassie could fly again when she had a breakthrough. She started flying, and that's when she got her little wonderbolt. When Pip watched her sister soar, she gave her the confidence to perform for the first time. Hitch recounts what happened the day he got his mark. He was playing hoofball on the beach with some colts when a filly asked to join them, but they wouldn't let her play and just kept shouting, so Hitch ditched the mean guys and played with her. Then he got his mark because he was kind. Izzy got hers in Bridalwood during the days of yore. She came across a junk pile in the middle of the forest, but she didn't see it as junk, but as stuff that just needed some love. She remade everything into a big teapot statue, and got her mark because she is a unicorn that loves recycling. Misty is nervous because she doesn't want to stand in front of a lot of ponies during the event. They reach Zephyr Heights and Queen Haven gives them a tour. The ponies then give Misty a makeover, but Misty is worried about what's going on back at Opaline's. She is certain that Opaline is plotting her evil revenge against her. However, Opaline didn't realize that Misty is missing as she looks for Gertrude, her favorite main brush. Queen Haven watches a video of when her daughters celebrated their Cutie Blossom Bash and gets emotional. Misty then confides in her friends that because of Opaline she never got to shine until now. She's worried that she's the oldest pony. They sit at a table to enjoy a delicious feast, and Queen Haven asks Misty to introduce herself. Misty describes her cutie mark, which is in the shape of a butterfly, but since she has no public speaking skills, she struggles to talk about herself. Meanwhile, Opaline is still mad at the ponies for thwarting her plans. She thinks that Misty is cooped up in her room, pouting. Misty's friends accompany her as she heads to the throne room for her celebration, but Misty gets nervous and refuses to celebrate. She confesses that she's been feeling uncomfortable as she doesn't want the spotlight and just wants to be herself. Her friends comfort her and apologize to her. They suggest celebrating in another way. They take her to a secluded place far from the other ponies and offer her gifts. Misty now understands why her cutie mark is a butterfly. It's because she has the power to change her own destiny. Misty then confesses that Opaline hasn't been defeated yet and is more powerful because she has Sparky's dragon fire magic. She adds that Opaline won't stop until she has all the power of Equestria. Misty wants to go back to Opaline and pretend to be on her side. She can act as a double agent by giving her friends all the information she learns. The ponies don't want her to do that as it's risky, but she insists. Her friends hug her and promise to always be by her side. Misty heads to see Opaline and covers her mark. Opaline notices that Misty's mane is shiny and different, but Misty comes up with a good lie and pretends to be on her side. Misty has visions of her past in Bridalwood. When she wakes up, she comments that it felt so real. She decides to tell her friends. She describes it as a scary dream where there was a tall creature. Zip believes it wasn't a dream but a vision of the future, and the dream creature must be Opaline. But her friends think that she's been having these nightmares because she's still sleeping at the lair. They urge her to put an end to the double agent mission, but Misty refuses to quit until she figures out how to beat Opaline. She resumes telling them about her vision. She also saw a big, beautiful tree similar to the one they planted in Zephyr Heights. The tree had a door. Izzy believes that she is referring to the wishing tree in Bridalwood. Misty tells them the truth that she never saw Bridalwood. She was just pretending to know about it during their unicorn sleepover. Izzy is shocked and wants to show her Bridalwood. Misty accepts as she's always wanted to see where the other unicorns live. The other ponies think that Bridalwood will help Misty remember something else about her vision. Hitch is worried about Sparky, as he still doesn't want to play. He thought that Sparky would get his energy back after Opaline drained his dragon fire, but he's been sleeping for days. Izzy assures him, saying that the Bridalwood forest has many healing properties. The ponies head to the Mare Stream and fly to Bridalwood. Izzy welcomes Misty to her home. They then trot through the plaza, and the ponies try to jog Misty's memory, but she can't remember anything else. But then Misty sees another vision, and her cutie mark glows. Misty thinks it's not a vision but a memory, but it's too foggy and she can't remember. She thinks that she was a filly in the playground. Misty spots the Crystal Tea Room, which is the property of Alpha Beetle. Queen Haven advises him to open a second tea room in Zephyr Heights, as the Pakazi would go wild for it and she could see him more often. But Alpha Beetle stresses that he can't leave Bridalwood and needs to be there in case. Izzy shows Misty the wishing tree, and Misty recognizes it as the same tree from her vision. But there is no glowing door. The ponies split up to look for it. Misty has another vision and hears a mysterious voice calling her name. She starts running around and gets lost. She wakes up and her friends find her weeping. She now remembers that she did live there when she was small, but one day she went out to collect glow-pass crystals and got lost in the forest. When she tried to make her way back, Bridalwood was gone. Just then her cutie mark starts glowing stronger and doing something to the tree. Izzy realizes that Misty's powers are changing the wishing tree. They're amazed to see that the Breezes live in there. Pip introduces herself to them. The Breezes are excited to see them as they haven't seen other ponies for a long time. The Breezes have a special treat for them and take them to the night market. There, the ponies find magical items and secrets that have been lost to the pony kind for generations. Back at the Crystal Tea Room, Queen Haven tries to get Alpha Beetle to open up to her. The Breezes then show up, surprising both Alpha Beetle and the Queen, who follow them. At the night market, Izzy and Pip shop for perfume and fabric. Hitch finds a special oil used to revitalize pony energy. He gives it to Sparky and it makes him doze off. Misty has a vision of her shopping at a market with unicorns everywhere, but she couldn't see who she was with. Just then, Queen Haven shows up at the market and reunites with her daughters. A Breezy gives Misty an enchanted key that will take her to her home, and it is one-time use only. Misty realizes that the key belongs to the door in her memory. Alpha Beetle's cutie mark also starts glowing, and the ponies notice that Misty is missing. They start looking for her, but she's gone. Misty just disappeared, and the ponies can't find her. Misty is actually looking for the magic door that the enchanted key goes to. She's hoping to find some answers about her past and her family. She encounters a Breezy and asks for direction to the door, but the Breezy leads her to a little tree house. Misty asks the Breezy to show her the way to the market. Meanwhile, Zip is worried sick about her friend, and Sunny thinks that Misty is just learning her way around Bridalwood. Sparky spots a giant dragon footprint and remembers seeing it before. He then excitedly jumps off Hitch's back to check it out. The Breezy explains that the print is an ancient fossil of a dragon print. The ponies see how the fossil is lighting Sparky up. Zip suggests getting Sparky around more dragon things, given that he's been away from other dragons for too long, and the only way to fully cure him is to get him back with his kind. Hitch is upset because he's worried that Sparky might leave him soon. His friends comfort him. Just then, Misty turns up and tells him about the key. She learns that Sparky needs to find his family to be fully healed. The ponies offer to help Misty find the door. Misty then apologizes to Hitch for letting Sparky get hurt, but Hitch forgives her and offers to be her family with the other ponies, in case she doesn't find what she's looking for. They then share a group hug. Zip then comes rushing, revealing that she found the door. She leads them to it. Misty is hesitant to use the key to find her family. Instead, she proposes using it for Sparky, as he needs to be around dragons. She's willing to wait a little longer to solve the mysteries of her past, because all she wants is save Sparky's future. Misty inserts the key and asks the door to take them to the Dragonlands. Some leaves come out of the door that awake Sparky. He rushes straight through the door, and the ponies follow him one by one. Sparky is feeling better, and Hitch thanks Misty for that. Sparky then leads them to the Dragon Prince. The ponies are excited to see that his fire is back. They then notice that there are claw prints and statues but no signs of dragons. They surmise that Opaline got there before them. Sparky then leads them to a cave, but the ponies are afraid to venture into it. So Hitch and Sunny volunteer to go and inspect it, but there are no dragons in there either. Misty concludes that the dragons must have sensed the dragon fire power in Opaline. Misty knows that Opaline's interest in total domination goes beyond Equestria, and she wants to rule over the Dragonlands too. Hitch decides to be Sparky's protector for as long as he needs him, until he finds his family. The ponies return to Bridalwood and comfort Misty, reminding her that they are her family. When they show her the pictures they took at the market, Misty recognizes Alphabetol. They then remember that his cutie mark was glowing too. Zip then explains to Misty that the large shadow she saw in her vision wasn't a creature after all. And she is right, because Misty now remembers that Alphabetol is her dad. The ponies all scream in shock upon hearing that. They decide to head to the Crystal Tea Room. Queen Haven wants Alphabetol to leave Bridalwood and join her in Zephyr Heights, but he confesses that he can't because he's still looking for his daughter who went missing, and he shows her a picture of little Misty. His cutie mark then starts glowing just when Misty enters the tea room and hugs her dad. He tearfully shows her his collection. Sparky then starts playing with fire inside the shop, and Hitch lets it slip that they all went to the Dragonlands. Queen Haven confronts her daughters, but they flee. Alphabetol then offers the other ponies drinks, and they all toast to family. Alphabetol goes all out, trying to remind Misty of the things she enjoyed as a child. He reminds her of the time they went to the circus, but having grown up and remembering virtually nothing of that time, Misty is a different person now, and her interests have changed. She explains to her dad that the memories are a little fuzzy for her. Her dad decides to have a father-daughter day to jog her memory. He reveals that Misty used to come up with games and fun things to do, and that's the whole reason he plays games in the Crystal Tea Room. Misty is still getting used to calling him Dad. Zip wants to question Misty about Opaline, who vows to take over all pony kind, but Sunny reminds her that it isn't the time and criticizes her tactics, calling them extreme. She adds that Misty just needs their support now. The father and daughter are shown taking a stroll down memory lane. He shows her a carving that they did together when she was a little girl. Hitch and Pip are following them, with Pip filming their beautiful reunion for Misty to watch later. Hitch persuades Pip to give them some privacy, and the pair leaves them alone. Alphabetol takes Misty to her home and shows her her old filly room. He left it exactly the same. He then introduces her to the neighbors, but Misty feels uncomfortable, so she asks him to tone it down because she doesn't like all the attention on her. He takes her to the playground and she pretends to have fun. Meanwhile, Izzy, Zip, and Sunny visit Elder Flower, who is the elder unicorn and the storyteller in Bridalwood. She agrees to tell them a story, provided that they take her to Zephyr Heights. Elder Flower relates a story about a bat who refused to get along with the others and wanted to fly around and eat all the fruit for herself. So the magical bat called Dawn spoke to a spider who wove a beautiful web to keep the mean greedy bat away, but the greedy bat continues to this day to try to break the web. This story tracks with what is known about how Twilight shielded Equestria from Opaline, but Sunny and Zip don't draw the connection. Alphabetol takes Misty to the tea room where she tastes his specialty. She pretends to like the taste and throws the rest of it. He then asks her to take part in the slam poetry. Pressured to compose a spoken poem, Misty stutters for several minutes and then runs off apologizing. The audience clap afterward. Onyx declares the act a commentary on the loss of identity. Misty eventually admits the truth to her dad, saying that she doesn't know what she likes and who she is because she didn't have the chance to figure it out yet. Alphabetol understands her feelings and hugs her, and they decide to start over. He later takes her to the Crystal Bright house. He reached out to her friends about living there. Misty is thrilled to live with them, and Alphabetol makes her promise to call him every week. Elderflower reveals that there are 3 very powerful trees. They can be created only when ponies come together through true friendship. The giant tree, Hitch grew in Growing Pains, the wishing tree in Bridalwood, and the tree grown by the main 5, and Misty in Cutie Blossom Bash. The together trees are magic trees that connect through their roots underground. Elderflower urges the ponies to protect them. Pip is walking in the woods when she stumbles on an ink thistle. She then notices how it made her hooves shine so brightly, but the ink thistle creates a pungent yellow odor that disgusts every pony who smells it. Pip heads to see Jazz and shows her the plant. Jazz thinks the plant has potential since their sales have been dropping, so the shiny hooves could redeem them. They want to test out the Hoofy-Cure treatment on Zip, but the latter gets overwhelmed by the stinky smell and storms out. They then try to test it out on Sunny, and Pip assures her that the hoof cream she made out of it is scentless. Sunny accepts as she wants to help and gets used to the smell. Pip advertises her new Hoofy-Cure treatment, and the shiny Hoofy-Cures bring in more customers. Sunny goes through her dad's old stuff and finds what looks to be a blank map. When it's left in Hitch's possession, it reacts to Sparky's presence, glowing as Sparky's scales shimmer. The ponies who keep getting the Ink Thistle Hoofy-Cure treatment know that it is too smelly for words, but they put themselves through the torture because it's inspired a new trending online social media challenge called the Main Smelody Challenge, where they get the terrible Hoofy-Cure procedure and try to see if they can go as long as they can without their eyes watering, before taking a friend to do the same. Jazz realizes that the videos made online are trending and making a joke of their new treatment. Jazz is struggling to tell Pip the truth, who's gotten used to the smell of the Ink Thistle treatment because she's worked so hard on her beauty line. She wants to tell her how bad the new Hoofy-Cure treatment really is, even as it spirals out of control more and more. Misty pays Opaline a visit, and the latter shares her new scheme. She plans to infiltrate the Dragonland to enchant them and possess them. Misty leaves hurriedly, claiming she'll get some intel for her. She reunites with her friends and shares with them what Opaline intends to do. Izzy persuades Jazz to tell Pip the truth. Pip laughs about it and doesn't get mad. Jazz apologizes for keeping it from her. Just then, Izzy shows up, revealing that she found the elusive neutralizing ingredient. It is called Pink Thistle and it smells nice. It will keep the shine but erase the smell. Pip is thrilled and advertises it on social media along with Jazz and Izzy. The ponies are celebrating Nightmare Night, the spookiest night of the year. Pip made an inspo board that includes trick-or-treating, costume contests, pumpkin patches, and their annual game to find the golden pumpkin. Hitch announces that the winner will get a big mystery prize, and the ponies are excited to partake in the activities. Izzy and the ponies discuss what costumes to wear for the event, and Pip is planning the super detailed haunted house of her dreams. She's turning the Crystal Bright house into the Crystal Fright house. Meanwhile, Opaline sees as the pumpkins are magically appearing in her place. She realizes that she finally discovered the path into Maritime Bay, a path that Twilight never accounted for. The together tree she grew years ago finally made a connection with another one. She discovers a magical tree network, so she, Pumpkin, and the ponies can travel between them. Pip's haunted house is ready and she and the ponies start celebrating. Outside, Opaline shocks the friendly ponies as she comes out through a portal. She vows to turn the night into a nightmare. The ponies, however, aren't scared of her, and ask her to cackle again and make her dramatic pose while filming her. Opaline is surprised that they aren't terrified of her. The ponies head to Pip's haunted house to celebrate with her and enjoy the feast. Misty doesn't get scared easily and Pip tries hard to frighten her but fails. Sunny then decides to close the fright house because the party was messy and it turned into mayhem. Pip and the ponies are sad since they spent the whole day preparing. They then realize that they tried to make the event so perfect that they messed it up. They decide to reopen again and welcome the surprises. They're unaware that Opaline is in town stealing the ponies' powers. The next morning, Sparky finds the Isle of Scaly map that leads to the Dragonlands. The ponies realize that the map will take them back and they can finally warn them about Opaline. Misty urges them to do it soon before it's too late.